Hey guys, it's Scipio, and today I feel like talking about Clone High. Like most people, I had absolutely no idea that this show existed until like last month. Then it sort of gradually crept onto my radar with JFK memes, but even then, I kinda just thought it was a weird gag from one of those total drama shows I never watched as a kid because of the animation style, and I probably wouldn't have even noticed it if it weren't for Saberspark making a video on it that I happen to watch. So shout out to Saberspark, I guess, for introducing me to a great show. Check out his channel. I'm about 99% sure that he's into furries. Anyways, for those who still don't know, Clone High is an MTV adult cartoon comedy about clones of famous people who were made by the government and are now dealing with a metric ton of high school melodrama. The show premiered way back in 2002, and despite having a cool Dexter's Lab-esque art style and some pretty decent music and guest stars, it was cancelled after only one season. So why are people still talking about a show from 20 years ago that only lasted for one season? Because it was created by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the guys behind Into the Spider-Verse and the Lego Movie, two of the best animated movies ever, and also Bill Lawrence, who created Scrubs, which is one of the best and most underrated shows ever put on television, and I will fight you on that. So yeah, this show had some ridiculous levels of talent behind it, and the creators have recently announced that they're rebooting the series, which has generated a huge amount of traffic and interest, but that still leaves the all-important question, was this show actually any good? Of course it's freaking good! I literally called it a great show earlier in the script, pay attention. But seriously, this show has a fun premise, awesome stylized animation, strong voice acting, and the same quick-fire jokes and laugh-a-minute humor that works so well in Lord & Miller's movies, and keeps the few bad jokes from lasting too long. It's a really great show for all those reasons, but it also has something else that consistently gets mentioned in connection to Lord & Miller's movies, and also Scrubs, thank you very much. Something that you no doubt saw in the title of this video. Heart. Heart is one of those things that's a huge deal when it's present in a comedy, and arguably an even bigger deal when it's noticeably absent.
I don't understand, so I'm angry and hungry. I'm gonna go punch a sandwich.
It's something that's really difficult to define, and as much as my cold mechanical soul might enjoy trying to pick it apart and break it down...
I hate to break it to you, but what people call love is just a chemical reaction that compels animals to breed.
I don't think even I could go that far. Instead, I want to highlight how Clone High handles heart, and what I think it does to give off that warm, fuzzy feeling we all enjoy so much. Also, be prepared for a few mild spoilers along the way, since you can't talk much about a character without at least revealing a few things that happen to them. Now, for a topic this subjective and hard to define, I can imagine all kinds of good answers, and everything I say in this video from here on out is going to have a heavy dose of my own personal opinions in it. But for me at least, heart is all about characters. Clone High actually has a huge leg up from its premise in this respect. Not only do we all have at least a passing knowledge of the historical figures that these clones are based on, but the high school setting and stereotypes are incredibly well known, both from people going to high school and from people watching shows set in high school, especially animes where everything is set in high school these days for some reason. These premises also come front-loaded with a couple of pretty compelling classic character motivations. The high school setting immediately lets us know that these characters are growing up and looking for some kind of acceptance in the world, and also gives us a heavy implication that they're looking for romance. But the clone angle gives us something even more interesting, in my opinion. As I mentioned earlier, each of the clones is a genetic copy of some famous historical figure or other, and throughout the series they are each painfully aware of that fact, to the point that most of them can't help letting it define them in some way.
Sure, I buckled under the pressure of living up to the original Gandhi and became a non-stop party machine, but damn it, I still care.
The result is that in addition to their normal high school drama, each of the characters has some pretty tremendous expectations placed upon them, and are always in some way either trying to live up to their original counterpart or distance themselves from them. Alright, so we've got a concept that gives our characters deeply personal goals and motivations right off the bat. That sounds pretty good, but then some know-it-all way in the back says, Surely there's more to heart than creating a basic character outline. And to that obnoxious yet inquisitive viewer I say, you are correct, sir. It's not enough for a character to have motivations alone. They also have to have likable, interesting personalities and act in ways that are believable for whatever situation they're in. You see, the heart of a series truly lives or dies based on whether the characters in that series are allowed to take their situation seriously. If your main characters are staring death in the face, dealing with emotional trauma, or just having a really bad day, they need to be able to take it seriously. Even if we, the audience, are laughing at the hilarious absurdity of a musical love triangle involving a mechanical Satan and a one-eyed mutant.
How wonderfully decadent, and just as I was beginning to lose interest.
Our protagonist should still be agonized at the thought of losing the woman he loves. In fact, having your characters play it straight, even in the face of utter insanity, can make the situation even funnier because of the disconnect, while also making it possible for an audience to empathize with them and feel that feeling of heart that all of us soft, squishy humans love so much. So how does Clone High handle this? It handles it well. Like, really well. Granted, a part of this is the parody of teen melodrama, where how super seriously the characters take their goofy, superficial interactions is a big part of the joke.
Look, Kennedy, we kissed. And I don't want to exaggerate the importance of it, but we're gonna be together forever.
Because of this, the characters get to treat their lives like they actually matter, so we in turn can really feel it when good or bad things happen to them. Characters who don't take anything seriously can come off as callous or even sociopathic, and can really alienate an audience as a result. And it's pretty much the direct antithesis of having heart. Letting your characters react or even overreact in a way consistent with their history and the tone of the series can be really endearing, especially when the audience can draw parallels to events in their own lives. Now, to really show you what I mean, I want to highlight one particular character from Clone High, arguably the series' main character, and their response to a particularly absurd yet traumatic event. That's right. I finally get to talk about JFK. You see, in the series' 10th episode, Litter Kills Literally, we're introduced to JFK's best friend, the clone of the Spanish explorer Ponce de Leon. And even though we've never seen him in the series before, we're informed that he is in fact a regular character.
Ponce, you are a regular character.
So it would be a big deal if he were to, die.
Get up!
So yeah, he and JFK have a minor argument, and then Ponce dies, about 5 minutes after being introduced. And even though we, the audience, know that this is all a gag mocking shows that introduce characters just to kill them off for cheap drama, for JFK, the loss of his best friend is actually devastating. In short order, he delivers a painful eulogy, goes to church to pray and yell at God, and then starts hallucinating his dead friend. It gets so bad that by the final act of the episode, he even responds positively to Abe's attempts to console him through hugging, despite being romantic rivals with him and not at all comfortable with emotional intimacy with anyone. Not only is he dealing with loss and mortality, but being vulnerable is diametrically opposed to what he thinks living up to the original JFK should look like.
I thought he was a macho, womanizing stud who conquered the moon!
And even though most of these moments are goofy and played at least partly for laughs, the fact that JFK never once treats this as anything less than a powerful blow to his life and the loss of one of his closest friends makes it feel totally earned when he's asked if he'll be okay at the end of the episode, and he responds this way.
No. But I will be.
Now, maybe it's just me, but even though I know intellectually that this is just Chris Miller doing a bad impression of former US President John F. Kennedy, I feel that emotion, and I remember that feeling in the later episodes whenever I see JFK struggling. And it makes me want to root for him to do better and be better, and maybe find that thing that makes him okay, just like we're all looking for, really. The rest of the characters each get similar moments to shine, Joan and Abe especially. But all of the main cast get at least a little something, and in a show with this large and zany a cast of characters, that's a pretty impressive feat. Having more characters getting in on the emotions also gives us a much better chance of having something about the show to latch on to, whether it be Joan's unrequited love, JFK dealing with his insecurities, or the simple, good-natured wholesomeness of Mr. Butlertron.
Your friend should listen to her heart. I'm not programmed to wink, but if I were programmed to wink, I would have winked when I said, your friend.
Now, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of perfectly good adult cartoon comedies that aren't character-driven. South Park, Family Guy, and Robot Chicken are all good examples of shows that don't take their character writing very seriously, but still have had incredible runs, and I've personally enjoyed each and every one of them. But there's something special about watching a series with heart. When you get invested in a group of characters, then laughing at their antics can take on a feeling almost like laughing with an old friend, and those are the shows and the feelings and the characters that I wind up remembering long after I've forgotten all but a handful of Family Guy celebrity cutaway jokes. Sometimes all we're looking for is a nice quick setup and a punchline, and I can totally get behind that. But at least for me, the best laughs always come with a character I've come to like, or even more than like, and just a bit of that fuzzy little intangible we all call heart.
And I wear my heart on my sleeve, so when I wiped my face,
I got heart all over it.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Well, that's a wrap, folks. If I managed to bring some enjoyment to your day, please consider giving me a like or a comment, and if you're interested in seeing more, consider hitting the subscribe button to stay in the loop about what I get up to next. I've got a lot of cool ideas for other film and writing related topics that I want to explore on this channel, so hopefully I'll see you again here real soon. Peace!